old charger for AGM batteries and the new one for lithium. People have questions about this, and I can answer them, but it's pretty simple. This is the IntelliPower 9160 for lithium batteries from Progressive Dynamics. This is the proper charger for that lithium battery. Sets up the same way as this did, except you, with the lithium, do not charge AGM batteries with this. It tells you. This is for charging AGM lead acid batteries. So, and my batteries are full, so when they're not, we're going to put them to the test. What's going on, my friends? Checking back in again. I wanted to do an update. I got the battery converter charger replaced today. That was quick and easy. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that because some things, as you said, seen from the title of this video, is something you need to know about converter chargers. I'm learning all the time. And I'm going to elaborate a little bit on my inverter and battery capacity here in a minute as well. Things I've learned. Like, I've got a background in electricity and learning all the stuff about solar and stuff. I don't know everything. And I did so much research, and there was just some things in the research that's, when you assume one thing, but you got to look and go, okay, I get it, and you got to understand that there's discharge rates that mate with certain things, and that's important. But this battery converter charger I got is specifically for lithium batteries. And it was just something you need to know. When you get a battery converter charger, if you can put 20 amp to keep your batteries charged, let's say you're at an RV park or plugged in somewhere, and you don't have a lot of sun, it's important that not just any battery charger will work with lithium batteries. Lithium batteries require a certain rate of charge, and this is a two-stage charger that requires more of a consistent rate of charge at a certain voltage, more constant at a time. And Will Prowse is somebody that could get more technical on it and kind of feed that information to you. If he's talked about that yet, I don't know. Don't think he's ever going to watch this video, but if Will Prowse sees this video, you hadn't talked about it, chime in on it, Will, because you're the man on that deal. Will is very technical on that. I understand. What you got to understand is that electricity is very proportional in what you're doing here, and that's, all this stuff I knew and not realizing I got a 3,500 watt inverter in this thing, but I only have 200 amp hours of battery. So another thing you need to be aware of is that proportionally you need to, the recommended amp hours, the battery capacity for that inverter is 400 amp hours. I only have 2, so I have too big of an inverter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a 1,500 watt inverter and put it in here, and I'll keep the 3,500 watt inverter. And if I sell the van, what I may do is just throw the 3,500 watt with the van for the sake of, okay, this is what I had. If you upgrade to 400 amp hours of lithium battery, you have a 3,500 watt inverter. You can stick this in here and you have the same remote or something. I may do that. I really don't know. I may just keep it. It was only $100 difference between the 3,500 and 1,500. And if they want to upgrade it, they can do it. Same remote. And if I buy the same one, it'll work just as well. But I do know that my microwave, it will work well with it, and everything will work well with it. The induction cooktop may be a little different, but when you're doing anything more than a couple of minutes on the microwave, like the convection oven, I'm trying to bake chicken or do anything on the induction cooktop, you need to plug in 20 amp anyway, and that's fine. That's intended to do that. Unless you got 1,000 amp hours of battery and you've got a 3,500 watt inverter like I do, then you can probably do that. You're going to eat up some battery, but you can do it. Depends on your power system. These are a great system. So, but that's when I talk about what would be a game changer. And I used to say 200 amp hours with a 2,000 watt inverter, but the game changer on this is 300 amp hours with a 2,000 watt inverter, because that's the required battery capacity for that inverter due to discharge rate of discharge. And you quickly learn that. And just like I say, I don't know everything, and I learn pretty quickly. I catch on. I understand it, but I started catching that through YouTube and various research, and then I find the form that came with my inverter, and it had all these. I didn't even look at that. It had recommended battery capacity for each inverter size, and it had the 3,500 watt, 400 amp hours. I was like, oh man, You know, because when I bought this inverter, it was initially supposed to be just a 3,000 watt. It wasn't even supposed to be 3,500, and they sent me that. So I was like, okay, I got a bonus, but it wasn't really a bonus because I didn't have enough battery capacity to have enough discharge. Because this thing starts beeping when I'm running the microwave over a certain period of time, or my coffee, my water kettle, because these bigger inverters are set up to anticipate more current flow, so it's going to do an initial draw a lot quicker. So it's just too big of a power pool at first to anticipate it's wanting the juice so we can handle it. It's not there, and it's almost like undertoning it. It's going to go, okay, we've got a low input voltage issue here, Sometimes it will do that. So you have to be very careful about what you do. It's like running space heaters on these inverters. If you don't have enough battery bank, you're not going to get but 15-20 minutes at it for a half hour before it starts going beep, beep, shut me down. So you have to understand this stuff. But like I say, the converter charger I got was the Progressive Dynamics. It's a great company. Progressive Dynamics puts their converter chargers in a lot of RV manufacturers' RVs. Winnebago is one of them. I think Coachman is another one. They're a great company to deal with. I understand that their customer service is fantastic, but I've never dealt with it. I hope I don't have to. But I got it in there. I didn't really get to charge the batteries with it yet because my batteries were at 100%, 200 amp hours when we did this. In fact, they're that now. It's 14.2. When this thing gets to 14.6 volts, the green light's going to come on, so I know I have full battery capacity here. But it's just, the system you build, starting to learn, you really have to get to know it, and you have to know what it's going to do, and you probably have to know what that thing's going to do before you install it, So, and there's you get little quirks, and you have to learn about what it'll do. Like my refrigerator, when it then got down to 60% of battery life, started going into F1, which started shutting down. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Well, the refrigerator needs to stay in low power mode so it can handle. The refrigerator's trying to anticipate and pull more, thinking, okay, I get it. We'll go along with the flow of discharge on the battery. It's not the battery can't handle it. It's just, you get 100% life out of that battery, but there's only so much current it's going to pull as the battery gets lower and lower and lower and lower. So it's almost at the rate of what a 100 amp hour battery will pull and what, and so on and so on. So, once you know that, it's not really a big deal. I just keep this thing charged all the time, and occasionally I'll bring the battery, down a little bit so it doesn't really get locked into some sort of a memory, which I don't think that it will. Just be cognizant of that. It's weird because these are the things I tell you. If you don't understand electricity and electronics, be very careful. Don't go building this. I see a lot of people in these forums and these groups asking questions like, what if I did this? And I'm like, you might die. Don't do that, Why do I have to do this? Or is there something I need to know? If you have to ask any questions like, what do I need to know about building my own electrical system? You don't know. You need to get help. You need to get somebody to do it for you. That, or get an all-in-one system and put a fuse panel and put your 12 volts to that fuse and, and have some distribution. Again, you better understand what you're doing when you do that as well, because you don't understand about, a common ground and negative and positive. And understanding the flow of electricity, you really, DC can get you in even more trouble. So you don't want to start a fire or do anything that you shouldn't do. And that's why I'm so cautious, and I get so nervous. Even all these years I've been messing with electricity. That's why I don't do household electricity. I hate it. It's because you just don't know, man. If you got somebody who's, you get somebody's back feeding electricity, or something happens, or there's not a proper ground somewhere, it'll kill you or start a fire. So you have to be very careful. I was having that conversation with Clancy today. I was over there. He was helping me hold the wires because one of them was coming off that battery. And I said, man, tape it and hold it. Just watch that wire. We do not need that thing arcing on any ground of the frame of the vehicle or that AC in it. So, but we were talking about, he's going to get a bigger generator, and he's going to, put some, he'll backflow it in and turn the main breaker off to feed it back feed it into his house for some electricity, which you can do. You should be careful how you do that, off his 50 amp in his laundry room. Yeah, you could do it if you're safe about what you're doing, but there's some things you better remember, if you're doing that, and that is you better isolate from your breaker. I mean, from your meter altogether. Or you will have you can blow your meter up, which will cause a fire, or you could put back pressure, more electricity on someone else's place, and cause someone's appliances to blow out or somebody to get shocked. You don't know on the grid. You have no idea what damage you can cause and not even know it. It's a lot of things you can do. To be very dangerous with electricity. Electricity doesn't care anything about who you are, about you. It takes no preference. It'll kill anything in its path if it hits you. So it's just like anything else. Anyway, I'm babbling about nothing as usual. But I'm going to hop off here and chill out for the evening. I just wanted to let you know I've got the converter charger in. We're going to get the cushions ordered. These things tightened up here. And see where this goes. I was talking to Clancy today about lots. He's looking for some properties, some things, and I don't know what he's going to do. He's looking at some that maybe they can split them up somewhere and make 2 out of 1, but I don't know. He was talking about maybe his son doing that with him or something, but finding a 1/4 of an acre is going to be a chore. It's going to be tough, so it's going to be decision time what I'm going to do. And it may be, may take me a little time, but we're going to do it. I may have to get a real estate agent involved once I start doing some research on that deal. So anyway, I'm going to get off here. I appreciate you guys for watching so much, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Be cool. Have a great one. Thanks. Bye.